Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. So, in previous classes, studied about the data types, huh? And told you what is the importance of data types whenever we are creating some tables. So that time, how to space is important. I told you because your server, SQL server, is based on memory based. So you need to utilize your memory in proper way. So that time your data types will play a vital role in this case. So that's why we are talking about the data types, different kinds of data types, and what is the uses of data types. So in previous classes, studied about the two kinds of data types, one numeric and non-numeric with decimal and non-decimal, right? For today, we will discuss about the rest of data types, whatever. So first of all, we will discuss about date time. So here you can see that there are different kinds of date time data types. You can see date. So date will provide you only date. So in SQL Server, the format of date always used as a YYMMDD. But whenever you use as a date time, so time will be added. But what is the date time offset? So it will be used as a time zone. Time zone means if you are using as a different time zone means suppose you are using in India, so IST. So in this way, this is used as a time zone. We'll see you the exact things with example. So this one is time zone, plus and minus. What time you are going to plus and what time you are going to minus. So this is time zone. And what is small date time and date time 2 and time. So whatever you are going to use date time and different kinds of date time, so there's no big difference. It's difference between if you want to exact time, suppose millisecond, nanosecond, microsecond, if you want to capture, so that time you need to consider all the date time. Suppose you are going to use for the date time offset, so that time you need to use date time offset. That's it. Suppose you are going to use, consider like millisecond, ms, but in case of date time you cannot consider as a millisecond. So this is the thing that suppose exact time nanosecond you want to capture, just in this way you can use it. So this is the way. What is boolean? Boolean just like true and false, 0 or 1. Sometimes you need to capture that 0 or 1. Suppose in product wise company, suppose company wants to store data, your item sold, so you want to sold for 1, not sold for 0. So that time you need to use boolean bit, isn't it? So other data type var binary. So what is var binary? Like a hexa code. Suppose you want to some encrypted data. Encrypted means you are writing something, but other people cannot understand what they are writing. Some encrypted. Suppose you are going to give some password, star star star, something like that. So it's always in encrypted manners. So same way, if you are going to store data inside database, so that time you need to use var binary. And what is money? Money means just like a decimal, but the one difference is here. If you are going to use decimal, so that time you can use decimal point. Suppose after 2 place, 3 place, if you want to put decimal. But money is used always for money. But main difference is that if you want to use dollar sign. So that time you need to use money. That's it. In this way. So that time you use to money. But what is image and blob? Like just like PDF. Suppose your company, you are using some images, you want to capture images, URL, something like that, and PDF format. So that time you need to use image data type, blob data type. So blob means binary large object. That's it. Blob means binary large object. So in real time scenario, blob is used as a Azure. Why I'm telling this as a Azure? Because I told you your SQL server always store data as a TB, sorry, GB, but blob always used in large scale, PDF, something like that. So blob means binary large object. So in case of SQL server, maximum 2 GB per column per value. It means what? Means suppose a column and in a row name something like that Arun. So Arun can store 2 GB size per column per value. But beyond of the 2 GB, so that time you need to use Azure cloud-based system. So this is the thing you need to understand.
Can you please repeat this? Can you please explain once again?
Sorry. Yeah, I told you. Suppose, just a minute, please. Yeah, see, suppose a column, suppose your name, something like that. Name is your column, and here you are going to store like Arun. Yeah, your name is Gaurav. So in this case, SQL Server, what maximum size? If anybody can ask you, what is the maximum size to store the data in SQL Server? So that time you can say that 2 GB per column per value. It means what? It means suppose a column and name. So name is your column, right? So inside name column, this name Arun name can store 2 GB size. That's it. Beyond 2 GB size, if you want to store in this row A4, so in that case SQL Server doesn't support. So that time you need to move Azure, some cloud-based system. So maximum size 2 GB per column per value. Per column per value this way. This value can store 2 GB per column per value. This value store 2 GB per column per value. Again, I'm going to store some like that. So this value can store 2 GB per column per value. Isn't it? So in this way, SQL Server supports. But beyond 2 GB, you need to go for Azure cloud-based. Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. So I was talking. The next point is that you like other data types. So table variables. Table is also variable. Table is also data types. So you don't confuse. Table is a variable also. Table is a data type also. So we will discuss about what is variables, what is table data types in later classes. Don't. So but table is a data type and table is a variable. What is cursors? So cursor is a also data type and it is a variable. But main thing is that unique identifier. This is very important things you need to understand here. Suppose, what is the use of unique identifier? What is the real-time use of unique identifier? I'm going to give you one example. Suppose you are going to store tables. Suppose you are getting the data from the USA and you are getting the data from the India. But in both table has same ID, means primary key. But you know, as a primary key, duplicacy not allowed in that case, isn't it? So how to resemble, how to consolidate the data? Your manager wants to, I want to consolidate the data, means resemble the data, integrate the data from the different location. But in case of same ID has primary key, but primary key doesn't allow duplicacy. So in that case, you need to use unique identifier. This is data type. You need to remember this. So unique identifier is a data types. It's always generate a unique value every time after clicking. After every refreshment, you will get the unique ID. I will show you in practical in later classes. But you need to understand unique identifier is a data type, and what is the use of that? I told you how to integrate data from the different countries, but I want to get data into one table. So in this case, you need to use a unique identifier with new ID. With new ID is a function this way. New ID functions. In this way, new ID is a function. With unique identifier, you need to use default new ID. So what is the use of new ID? Suppose it's a interview questions. You need to understand. Suppose if your interviewer asks you, I want to get data randomly. Every time I want to get data random way. How to get it? So with the help of new ID function, you can get it. And new ID function is always used with unique identifier data types default, because new ID function generate unique value always. So this is the uses of data types in different ways and different cases. You need to understand. But most of cases, you need have to use like a character varchar, n varchar, date time, date. But some cases, but you should have knowledge about that. This is because you can have sometimes anybody can ask you. So I'm discussing about why, because interviewer can ask you about this thing. What is unique identifier? What is table? What is cursor? So it's all our data types. But in real time, varchar, n varchar, date time functions, all are used. Most of cases, don't worry. But some types I'm talking about this. This is the point of interview. So you can see here, what is the use of offset? In this way, you can use it. This is the syntax of offset function. So in this way, you can use it as a data types of time offset. Plus and minus. How much hours you want to add, how much hours you want to minus. So maximum 00 to 14 and 00 to 59. So in this way example, you need to give suppose YY mm DD hour minute second. After that nanosecond. After that what time you want to add plus. So in this way you can see here 12, 10, 25, 12 hour, 32 minutes, 10 second, and what time you want to add with time zone data types. That's it. So maximum you can add minus 14 to plus 14. You need to remember this. After 14, you cannot. Minus 14 to plus 14. Suppose here I want to add 12 hours. You can. Was minus 40 to 40. Yeah. So whatever discussed till now, I discussed about the system defined data types. But right now, I'm going to show you how to create user defined data types. It can be. Sometimes you need to create very rare and rarest case, but how to? So this is the syntax of user defined data types. Create type. Need to create because create is a command and type is a predefined keyword. So create type and this is your column name descriptions and this is your syntax from what data type. So this one create type column name from which data type. After that you can see here, see first you need to create your user defined data type with this syntax create type column name after from data type. After that what you created data type and column you need to use in this table in this way. See leave reason descriptions. So this one is user defined data type you created before that and you are using here. So sometimes you need to create. So you have knowledge about that how to create. Somebody can ask you, some interviewer can ask you, is it possible to create a user defined data types in SQL Server? So you should say yes. This is possible to create, but how to create type uh, column name from which data type and what size you are giving. So this is the way you can create. So this all about your data types and it's a very important and I will show you and share one file. With the help of that you can understand in easy way and broadly. Don't do it. But one thing you need to do, it's a home task. You need to create a table. I will discuss how to create tables today. So with the help of that, you need to create tables and that time you are creating the tables, you have to use the data types with that. So this is the way, all data types, whatever discussed, because after that you can get the things for exactly. Otherwise, theoretically, always miss to listen and to show. But with the help of practical, you can get the right things what the exactly going on in this way you can understand. So every data types is very important. Suppose you are going to create the comments and descriptions. So that time you use to end text. End text means Unicode, multi-language. Text means static. That's it. Any doubts you can ask. So next point is that how to use this data type with creating of tables. See. So what command discussed about DDL, DML, DQL, all commands will be used here with practical. See. So yesterday and previous classes, what discussed about the naming convention, how to create database and how to create tables and all, everything will be used here. What is the primary files? What is the secondary file? Everything will be used here. Meanwhile, you are going to create a tables. So first you need to server. After that you need to database. So server I got it. I installed it into laptop. After that we are going to create databases. After that creating file groups. After that files. So all these things you need to. It's known as hierarchy. So first thing is that how to create new databases. So I am going to create a new databases here. See, so naming convention is always there. You need to remember this. No spaces. You want to give a space, you need to give underscore. So in this way, you need to use create. So create is a DDL command. What discussed in previous classes. So create is a DDL command. And what create? Database. So database is predefined keyword. Suppose you are going to create table. So that time create table. Suppose you are going to create procedure. Create procedure. That's it. Nothing any special. So create database. Database name. In this way you can create. So create database. Database name. And after that you need to execute. So there are three ways you can execute the query command. First thing is that I'm going to show you. Right click, and after that you can see here execute. First thing. So this way you can also, otherwise you can also execute. So first you need to select here. I will tell you next to next class why I'm selecting single line, multiple line, and suppose we will have some queries related to that. Why I'm selecting single line command, and I'm going to execute that. Why we cannot all at a time single shot? Is there any possibility? Yes, there is possibility, but thing is that to remember, I will show you and I will tell you in next to next class. So I'm going to create a database with the help of create command in this way. After that, you need to hit execute command in this way. So you are getting one pop-up connecting because your server is not connected to your database. So first you need to connect your database to server in this way. After that connecting of database, after that you need to use create. So after that execute. So you will get the error. Why? See, database this already exists. So same database cannot be created. You need to remember. Same name, duplication not allowed. So you need to change here. After that select, I need to execute. So you got commands completed successfully means it's fine. But see, you are getting here master database. So what is the default database? I told you. So what is the default database? Default database always as a master database. So you are getting here master, but you created a evening batch 6 p.m. batch DB something like that. But you are not getting here how to switch the database whatever created. So there are two ways. One way is here, you can drop down and select that, but you are not showing. Suppose you have more than 200,000 databases, so it's a very difficult to choose it. So I'm going to give you one thing that you need to use this way. Use this database, nothing. So use command. After that, yeah, so you can see here automatically it went to change. So up you, it means what? That's why I told you first you need to get server, after that you need to get database. So server installed, after that database created and database used in this. Next to next option is that here I am going to create a table. I created a server, after that got got database. Inside that database, this database, particular database, this database, I'm going to create a table. So that time, same here, I'm going to create command. I told you, whenever you are going to create database, you need to give create database. Whenever you are going to create tables, that time you need to use create tables, tables name. And you can see here, I'm going to give underscore because I want to give a space. Okay. But one thing I want to show here, suppose your client, your manager tell you, I want to a space, I want to create it as a space. Is it possible? Yeah, there is a possibility. But every time there is no need. But this is possibility to create a table with a space. How to? But just you need to give something like this way. Employee info in this way, and after that in this way. That's it. You can put a space here, but you need to give a square bracket in that place. Suppose you want to use as a predefined keywords, because in the rule of naming convention there is no possibility to use predefined keywords. Suppose SQL is a predefined keyword, so whenever you are creating a tables, I want to use SQL table, something like that. So that time naming convention not allowed, but with the help of a square bracket you can use it. That's why I'm going to show you. You can try. You can try in your laptop. Is it working or not? So I'm going to create a table in this way. See. So whenever you are creating a table, create table, table name. What is this? This is known as your fields, your columns. Because in case of Excel, see. So in Excel, suppose you want to store data. Same way, because Excel is also a spreadsheet, and this place you can also store data. So what is the difference here and there? So see, suppose ID, name, and salary. So you are going to store something like this in this way. Name 8 and salary something like that this way. After that, in this way are going to, but in this case, you don't need to give any data types, isn't it? You are not telling to your Excel, yeah, I am going to give you as a text, I'm giving you as a numeric, I'm giving you as a date type. But in case of your Excel, sorry, in case of SQL, you need to give all the things. What kind of data types, what kind of columns, because this is known as column or field, isn't it? But in case of SQL, this is known as attributes. This is known as attributes. This is known as attributes or fields. But in case of Excel, all languages known as column. But in case of SQL languages, you need to have knowledge as field or attributes. So this is called as attributes. After that, in case of Excel, you given a column, ID, name, salary, but you are not giving as a data type. But in case of this case, you are giving a data type. First, you need to give field, column. After that, you are providing some data type. Means employee ID is going to store as an integer. So how much size it can be stored? It can be stored as a lakh. So integer in this way. Employee name, you are going to give character, means 30 character, but it's a static. Suppose you are giving 30 character, but suppose you given name as a Gaurav. So there are 5 characters. 25 character will be spoiled. Memory leakage problem. Extra uses, something like that. But in case of country, because employee country maybe have more than character, you don't know how much character is there. In that case, you need have some varchar and varchar. So that's why you have here 40 character. It means if you give as a 40 character, but you are going to give as a employee country as a India. So how much character there? 5 or 6, whatever. So 6 character will be used. 34 character will be released. So this is the difference. Interviewer can ask you. In practical way, you can explain. After that, employee salary, I'm going to integer. You can give as a decimal also. You can give as a money also. Here, money. So if you want to store as a symbol dollar sign, what sign? So that case you need to use money. Otherwise, not an issue. Anything. Integer, numeric. So in this way, you can create a table. This is the way. And you have to use F5 keyboard. So command created successfully. So one table created inside evening batch 6 p.m. batch DB. So how to report the tables means how to show. Report means how to show you created previous tables. So this way you need to select star table name in this way. So you can see here there are 4 columns what you have given inside your table. So star means all columns. That's it. Isn't it? But next point is that how to insert data into above table. How to insert data into above table. Dumping data. So in that case, in this case, you need to use command insert. So create is a DDL command, insert is a DML command. So insert into. Into means it's just like a preposition keyword. Why I'm telling this as a into means some motions, because data will dump into as a motion quickly. So that's why insert into. Where is going to insert? Your table. What table name? Employee table. This way, employee. And what values? So all these are predefined. Keyword insert into values. So these are the predefined keyword. Select from star. But this one is your name defined by user. So in this way, you can store all data. So you can insert data as a single manner in this way. You need to select here and after that execute. That's it. So you will get the message one row affected. But you can insert data in bulk manners in same way, this way. Look at this. So I'm going to insert data. So see here, we need to understand one new concept here. What is the new concept here? In previous one, I inserted data as a single manner. Insert into this one. So it's a single command. It's a single insert command. But next one, next step, I inserted more than 5, more than 4. You can see 3 and 2. Why it's giving 2, I will tell you. But first thing you need to understand, I inserted more than 4, 5 command, insert command, rows and columns, something like whatever, data. So 5 data inserted at a time. So this is known as a batch. This is known as a batch. In SQL Server, if you are going to insert more than 5 data, more than 5 statements, not data, you can say that it's a statement. Single statements, multi-statement. So if you have a more than one statements, you need to say batch, SQL batch. So what is the benefit of batch? I will tell you later on. I will tell you after that some concept. But this time you need to know this is known as batch, means more than one statement. So why you are getting two rows here, two rows affected? Before you are getting one row is affected. So what is this? See, in last statement you can see here, insert into table name values. After that you are putting comma. See here. So you can insert multiple times with the help of comma. Suppose you, once again you are, so you need to put comma. After that you need to give values. But without comma, you need to put everything. Insert into table name values this way. But if you are going to put comma, that time you don't need to whole command insert into something like that. So this is the difference. So in this way you can also insert data. So there are three ways you can insert data: with one single statement, with multiple statements, with union all operators will tell you, will show you that one after joins, and with help of comma. So there are two ways you understood here. One ways will tell you after join concept. Whenever we will discuss about join concept in SQL Server, will tell you what is the exact difference of union, all, and joins, why we are using this. So this time we got two things: how to insert single statement, how to insert or multiple statements, and multiple statements what known as in SQL Server. So this is known as a batch. This is known as a batch. So what is null here? You can see here. So null is a blank value, not a zero. Just need to remember this. Null is not a zero value. Null is a blank value. It means you are not providing any information in that column. That's why it's null. Null means not zero. Null means blank. And batch is a set of SQL statements. If anybody can ask you what is batch in SQL Server, so you need to say batch is a set of SQL statement, means multi statements. And I told you what is the benefit of batch. So due to batch, if error occurs, it will work other statements. It means what? It means suppose you are going to use a statement, SQL statement as a batch, and the line number 3 getting error. So without batch, you cannot insert all statement at a time. But with the help of batch, with the help of go command. So that's why I'm telling you, go command will discuss. After that, we'll tell you the what is the benefit of batch with go command. So just you need to wait for some times. So just here till now, you need to understand batch. It stops the errors. Particular line. Suppose I'm going to show you. Suppose here there are 4 statements. Suppose here you are getting the error. So rest of will be executed. Instead of this, this will be not executed. So this is the benefit of batch. That's it. So how to report above inserted data? What inserted data you need to show? You need to report. So in this way, you can see here, you inserted data and you can see. Okay. So next point is that suppose we inserted data, we created database, we created tables, we creating columns, but I want to show some data with a specific columns name. So this is possible. Yes. How to? In this way. In place of star, you need to put column name. That's it. And this is the naming convention there. You need to select this way. All predefined keyword you need to this way. Select after that comma column name. So this is the right way to use the select statement and all statements. Somebody use like this way, comma name comma, in this way. This is not good way to use it. You need to use in this way. One column, After the comma, this column, this column. And what predefined keyword means, suppose you are filtering some data with where condition. So you need to use where conditions here. After that, what column you put here. So this is the right way to use your commands. Somebody write here S capital, other letters small. This is fine, no problem. But if you are using all capital, this is fine. So in two ways you can use it. So what predefined keyword you need to use in this orders. So you can select data particularly with column. See, so there are two columns here. I select. So star means all columns. Okay, suppose you want to get data specific. That time you need to use a keyword where conditions. Which column and which data you want to use means filtration of data. So in that case, you need to use where conditions. Only I want to data from the Canada. So that time you need to where conditions. Where you need to give filtration with the help of where conditions. So where is a condition. So in this case, you are getting the data related to only Canada. So where is a condition, it is used like as a filter from particular column. So if you want to get data from particular column, that time you need to use where condition. And there are some operators here, or and. Or means either any condition true, we will get the result. And means both conditions should be true, nothing. But where is always, because you are going to use conditions. You are going to use conditions in this. So in this way, you can see here commented line not executable by SQL Server. Commented line, this way you can see what commented line, what commented statements here you are selecting, but it's not executable. Okay, so next concept is related to listing of data. How to get the data in list format, means array format. More than, suppose you want to get data more than 2-3 columns. So every time you need to use AND operator. This is possible. This is possible. Very hectic. So in that case, if you want to get data as a list, more than one column rows, so you need to use in operator. So in means listing of data. Listing of data, you need to use in operators. So in and or all these are operators known as operators in SQL Server. SQL Server, yeah. So what is not in means reverse of in, means this time you want to get data only from USA and Canada. But in this case, you don't want to data from USA and Canada. So that's why you are using this not in. So not in the reverse of in operator in this way. So what you got the result here with the help of in operator, Canada and USA. See, but in case of this statement, sorry. So in this case, you are not getting the data not in, means USA Canada. So you don't have data same as like. So that's why you are not getting it. But not in is the reverse of in operator. How to get data? Range data. So in case of range data, if you want to range data, so that time you need to use between operator. Between. So in case of between, this will be considered. This will be included. You need to understand. In this way, yeah. So this case, whatever you are going to conditions in range, always included, not excluded. Not between, reverse of, reciprocal of, between. So this is the basic command you need to use for the reporting initially. That's why I'm discussing. Yeah, next point is your like operators. Suppose you want to get data as a start with J, I, end with J. In this case, you need to use like operators. So you need to use in this way. Suppose after J you are putting the percentile. So what does this mean? This means you want to get the data as a J last. Sorry, first. Because you are putting percentile in last, you mean you want to get data from the first. If you are putting the percentile in beginning, you means reverse of things. Putting first, getting last. Putting last, getting first. In this way. So see here. Yeah. So where is J? J means first. Putting last, getting first. J later. Putting last, getting first. But if you put here once more percentile here, it means what? It means anywhere J. Either in between, either last, either first. So this is the way. Anywhere, any place. There are two things you can understand here. If you want to range with a like operator, suppose you want to name a person, one who has A, B, C, means one who persons have name like A, starting from A, starting from B, starting from C, all. So that time you need to use in this way. So this is known as range like operator. Underscore means number of character, means how many characters you want to fetch. After 3 characters, I want to J start, means underscore 3 times. Underscore means underscore number of characters. Percentile means position of character. You need to use it and you can see the results. So this is the things. You need to use it. It's a very important in real time scenario. Range, percentile, underscore. So how to get the data as a order, ascending and descending. So by default in SQL Server, it's ascending order. But if you want to get data as a descending order, in this way, so maximum will be get first in this way, order by. And if you want to get data top 2, top 3, top 4, so you can get the data as top 2 means top 2 salary in this way. But descending means what? Descending salary. So that's why you are getting the result as a salary descending. Maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, average, count, all these are aggregated functions. How to get maximum salary? So you can use max. How to get minimum salary? You can use minimum salary. But after you are using like a aggregate function like max, min, and you are putting like a this way. What is this? You need to understand here. I'm going to show you something. Suppose you are going to use like in this way. See, you are not getting any column name. You are getting results only. But I want to a column name. How to get it? So you need to give a customized column name. So you need to remember one point. Customized column name is not used in a query. I will tell you later on. But customized column is always used to display something, isn't it? So displaying part, if you want to customize column, if you want to give customized column name, so that time use as a display. So this is customized column. So only for displaying. See, but this customized column never can be used as a query. Suppose you want to use as a select salary comma max salary. So that time you will get error because customized column never can be used in a query. This point should be remembered. Customized column never can be used. So the next point is that how to, just a minute, please wait. Yeah. So in this way you can find aggregate. So this is the point, and the rest of like DML, some DML commands like update, alter, all things we'll discuss tomorrow, isn't it? So next part will be discussed tomorrow, but some questions here, important points, important review questions. You need to remember this. What is the difference between delete and drop? What is the difference between delete and truncate? Uh, how to report null values in this way. Suppose if any column have null and you want to get it, so that time you need to in this way is null. Unique data, distinct keyword. Unique data means distinct keyword. You need to use it in this way. Select distinct column name. Unique data. So this is the task for tomorrow. You need to. So from here, your task will start. How to report first 5 data or previous data from the table. Suppose it's a real-time example. It's a real-time use. Suppose you have 1 million data and your boss, your manager tells you, I want to first 5 data, means current data. First one big data. How to get it? So this is the scenario you need to find. How to report 25% data, 50% data from the table. How to report latest data means suppose today's data, I want to only today's data. How to get it? So all these are example of real-time scenario. How to report half data from the table. So 5 questions are here. What you discussed today, from here you can try it and find out. And honestly, I would like to say this is real-time scenario. You need to use it every day for the reporting purpose, basic reporting parts. And next part, I will give you one assignment. In that assignment, you need to create tables, but you need to skip 4 and 5 because I didn't discuss about this thing. So I will give you the data types assignments. You need to create a tables with the help of that data types. After that, you create a tables. You need to insert data, and after that, you need to use it. You need to use task and solve the task. And after next task is here. I will give you a task assignments. But in that case, you need to skip 4 and 5. Rest of you need to do. That's it. Any questions, any clarification, you can ask me. Please. Yeah.
Uh, will you send this whatever you have written on the editor?
Sure, sure. Everything, everything. So
Okay,
it's
okay, fine.
yeah. From today, your real time things will start. So you need to
Understood.
understand previous all things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will get stuck. So this is the real time scenarios and questions and tasks and assignments. So you need
Okay.
to solve it. Any questions? Okay. Thank you, all of you. Have a good night. Thank you.